Namo Pha. Thank you for joining me for a daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The second mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. For our Dharma lessons, we've been reading Ajahn Chah's book, Everything is Teaching Us, and we are now in a Dharma talk called Right Restraint. Even though we are living in the monastery, we are still far away from correct practice, very far away. When I went abroad, I saw a lot of things. The first time I gained some wisdom from it to a certain extent, and the second time to another extent. On my first trip, I made notes of what I experienced in a journal. But this time, I put down the pen. I thought, if I write these things down, will the people at home be able to bear it? It's like us living in our own country and not being very comfortable. When Thai people go abroad, they think they must have some very good karma to be able to get there. But you have to consider, when you go to a place that is strange to you, will you be able to compete with those who have lived their whole lives there? Still, we go there for a little while, and we feel it is so great, and that we are some special kind of people who have such good karma. The foreign monks were born there, so does that mean they have better karma than we do? These are the kinds of ideas people get from their attachment and grasping. What it means is that when people contact things, they get excited. They like being excited. But when the mind is excited, it is not in a normal state. We see things we haven't seen and experience things we haven't experienced, and the abnormality occurs. When it comes to scientific knowledge, I concede to them. As far as Buddhist knowledge goes, I still have something to tell them. But in science and material development, we can't compete with them. In practice, some people have a lot of suffering and difficulty, but they keep on in the same rut that has been making them suffer. That's someone who hasn't made up his mind to practice and to get to the end of suffering. It's someone who doesn't see clearly. Their practice isn't steady or continuous. When feelings of good and bad come, the person isn't aware of what is happening. Whatever is disagreeable, I reject. This is the conceited view of the Brahmin. Whatever is pleasing to me, I accept. For example, some people are very easy to get along with if you speak pleasingly to them. But if you say things they disagree with, then there's no getting along with them. That's extreme conceit, ditthi. They have strong attachment, but they feel that's a really good standard to live by. So the ones who will walk this path are few indeed. It's not different with us who live here. There are very few who have right view. When we contemplate the Dharma, we feel it's not right. We don't agree. If we agreed and felt it were right, we would give up and let go of things. Sometimes we don't agree with the teachings. We see things differently. We want to change the Dharma to be different from what it is. We want to correct the Dharma, and we keep working at that. This trip made me think about many things. I met some people who practice yoga. It was certainly interesting to see the kinds of postures they could get into. I'd break my leg if I tried. Anyhow, they feel their joints and muscles aren't right, so they have to stretch them out. They need to do it every day, then they feel good. I thought they were actually giving themselves some affliction through this. If they don't do it, they don't feel good, so they have to do it every day. It seems to me that they are making some burden for themselves this way. and are not really being aware. That's the way people are. They get into the habit of doing something. I met one Chinese man. He didn't lie down to sleep for 4 or 5 years. He only sat, and he was comfortable that way. He bathed once a year, but his body was strong and healthy. He didn't need to run or do other such exercises. If he did, he probably wouldn't feel good. It's because he trained himself that way. So, it's just our manner of training that makes us comfortable with certain things. We can increase or decrease illness through training. That's how it is for us. Thus, the Buddha taught to be fully aware of ourselves. Don't let this slip. All of you, don't have grasping attachment. Don't let yourselves be excited by things. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.